Welcome students. Let us understand the concepts of business marketing. Our discussion flows like this. We are going to concentrate on learning what is business marketing, what is the differences between business marketing and consumer marketing, and what will be the nature of demand in industrial marketing. All marketing activities that facilitates promotion of goods and services or selling of goods and services by one business organization to another business organization is called as business marketing, or it is also known as industrial marketing. Any product and services that a business, industry, company which has purchased is mainly to resell with little modifications, or the company will use the same components in their own products or services, or it may be for supporting them in day-to-day operations. And it also consists of all the activities which are involved in marketing of products and services for different kinds of organizations. It may be profit organizations or non-profit organizations or commercial organizations or even government. Nature of business marketing can be summarized as it includes all the organizations that purchases goods and services. It is a process that matches and combines the capabilities of supplier and with the desired outcomes, expectations of the consumers. It presents the different types of challenges and opportunities as compared to consumer marketing. Business markets are the markets for local to international, bought by business, government bodies, institutions, for different types of components which they use it for themselves or which they may be having an intention to resell in the market. Business marketing is to create value for buying organizations with their products and services that focuses on buying needs of consumers. It satisfies many objectives like production of goods and services, marketing profit, reducing cost, and so on. Let us understand the difference between the industrial and consumer marketing. B2B marketing is nothing but industrial marketing, and B2C marketing is nothing but consumer marketing. B2B means business to business, is mainly geographically it is concentrated and with only few buyers. Whereas in business to consumer marketing, it is a wide distributed market and market for mass. When it comes to product characteristics, B2B markets are customized and technically to the point to the needs of the another organizations. More so, it will be technical in nature. Whereas in B2C marketing, it is standardized product which can be purchased by the customers across the market. When it comes to services, B2B markets are more of service oriented, and services must be timely available, because any kind of industrial equipments or installation of machineries, it has to be tackled and the services needs to be undertaken within prompt time. Whereas in B2C marketing, very less products requires after sale services. So most of it is not so much of technical in nature. So the services will be very less important. Whereas in B2B, services are time bound. Buying behavior. In B2B marketing, technical expertise, stable interpersonal relationships, and performance-based purchases are very much focused. Whereas in B2C marketing, there are no technical experts who will decide whether I should buy this or not. And it is more of non-personal relationship. Products which are available in the market, the consumers, if they are happy with the product, they will choose the product. Sometimes they may even skip buying branded product and go to trial for another branded product. So purchases based on psychological and physical needs of the consumers. B2B marketing is more of like direct marketing, business to business, and intermediaries are very less, and sometimes it is no intermediaries at all. Whereas in B2C marketing, there are a lot of intermediaries, different levels of supply chain management, distribution channel, and it is more of indirect selling. Whereas in B2B marketing, emphasis on personal selling is more to promote the product. Whereas in B2C, promotion is mass media advertisements. When it comes to price as the characteristic, in B2B marketing, it is mainly based on the negotiated prices between the business organizations, or it will be competitive bidding. Whereas in B2C marketing, it is more like MRP based pricing. There are different types of demands in industrial marketing. That is derived demand, joint demand, fluctuating demand, inelastic demand, and cross elasticity of demand. Let us understand these various different types of demands in detail in the coming slides. Demand for industrial products and services depends on consumer market. B2B demand depends on B2C market. So based on the consumer goods and services demand that arises in the consumer market, it leads to demand in the industrial sector. So it is called as derived demand. Demand is derived from the consumer market. And what are the factors which influences the derived demand? One is the ultimate buyer's requirements, needs, necessities, business conditions in which the business organizations are working, and the influence of financial conditions also will be there on derived demand, and the material components and the supply chain. Joint demand occurs when demand for two goods is interdependent. For example, if there is no good having a printer without the ink to go with it. Similarly, the ink cartridges are no use without a printer. So the demand for ink cartridges changes as there is a demand for printers in the market. The second one is fluctuating demand. Demand for business goods and services tends to be more volatile than the demand for consumer goods and services. Economists also refer this as an effect as an acceleration effect. Sometimes a raise of 10% in consumer demand can cause 200% industrial demand for products, or vice versa. The total demand for many industrial goods and services is inelastic. That is not much affected by the price changes. Demand is especially inelastic in the short run because the producers cannot make quick changes in their production methods. So for example, shoe manufacturers are not going to buy much less leather if the price of leather raises unless they can find satisfactory leather substitutes in the market. Cross elasticity of demand. Cross-elasticity of demand is a responsiveness of the sales of one product to a price changes in another. It can have a dramatic impact on marketing strategies of an industrial firm. Cross-elasticity for substitutes is always positive. That's the price of one good and the quantity of demand for other always more in the same direction. The concept of cross-elasticity for complements is negative price and quantity move in opposite direction. The concept of cross-elasticity of demand can be very useful to industrial marketers. For example, the quantity of granite required for construction is related to the price of its flow substitutes like bricks, marble, and vice versa. Organizational buying and buying behavior. Herein, we are focusing on these concepts: decision-making process, buying situation, buying grid framework, buying center roles, key members of buying centers. Organizational buying is a decision-making process by which formal organizations establish the need for purchased products and services and identify, evaluate, and choose among alternative brands and suppliers. Organizational buying process is entirely different from the consumer buying process. While buying decisions are made relatively easily and quickly by individual consumers, but organizational buying involves a thorough, deep analysis. In an organization, purchase decisions are influenced by several individuals and are not made in isolation by a single individual. Organizational buyers are more concerned about the price and quality of product along with the services being provided by the vendor. Organizational buying behavior refers to the process of how companies or the organizations buy goods and services. Following are the stages in the organizational buying process. First one, problem recognition. The first stage of business buying process in which someone in the company recognizes a problem or need that can be met by acquiring goods and services. The second stage is general need description. At this stage of business buying process, company describes the general characteristics and quantity of needed items. Third stage is product specification. At this stage, the business buying process, buying organization decides on the product and specifies the best technical product characteristics for a needed item. The fourth stage is value analysis, in which components are studied carefully to determine if they can be redesigned, standardized, or made by less costly methods of production. The next stage is supplier search. At this stage, the buyer tries to find the best vendors. Sixth stage is proposal solicitation. At this stage of buying business process in which the buyer invites qualified suppliers to submit proposals. At the seventh stage, supplier selection, the buyer reviews the proposal and selects the supplier and suppliers. At order routine specification stage, the buyer writes the final order with the chosen supplier, listing the technical specifications, quantity needed, expected time of delivery, return policies and warranties, etc. And in the last stage, performance review, the stage in which the buyer rates its satisfaction with supplier, deciding whether to continue or to modify or drop them. following are the characteristics of organizational buyers. Buyers are limited in number and the purchases are in large quantities. Close relationship and services are required. Demand is derived from the production and sales of buyers. Demand fluctuations are high as purchases from business buyers magnify fluctuations in demand for their products. Organizational buyers are trained professionals in purchasing. Several persons in organizations influences the purchase orders. It also happens through direct dealing with manufacturers. These are the buying situations. Straight rebuy. Only purchasing department is involved with inventory department, in suppliers to maintain the quality and the out suppliers to get named in approved list. The second one is modified rebuy. Modifications to the specifications of product related to the delivery has to take place. Based on new task buy, the first time buy, cost is high, more executives are involved in decision making process, and the stages which are involved are awareness, interest, evaluation, trial and finally adoption. And the last type of the situation is systems buy. A single order to a single organization for supplying a full system. That is like 100% product will be purchased from one single vendor. Buying center consists of all persons of the organizations at different levels of management who are involved in buying process, playing one or the other 7 roles. They are users. Users are the ultimate users of those products and services. They are technically sound like R&D or engineering who can also communicate well. They play a vital role in buying process. The second one is initiators. There can be occasions where the top management, maintenance or engineering departments recognize and feel the need for such goods and services. They are called initiators who take the initiative in buying process. And third one is influencers. Technical persons, experts, consultants and qualified engineers play the role of influencers by drawing specifications of products. People in the organization who influence the buying decisions. And the fourth one is buyers. They are people who have formal authority to select the supplier and arrange the purchase terms. They play a very important role in selecting vendors, negotiating, sometimes help and shape the product specifications. Fifth one is deciders. Among the members, marketing person must be aware of the deciders in the organization and try to reach them and maintain contact with them. Organizational formal structure might be deceptive and the decision might not even be taken at the purchasing department. Sixth ones are approvers. People who authorize the proposed actions of deciders or the buyers are called approvers. They could also be personnel from top management or finance department. And the last one is gatekeeper. A gatekeeper is like a filter of information. He is the one the marketer has to pass through before he reaches the decision maker. Understanding the role of a gatekeeper is critical in the development of industrial marketing strategies and the salesperson's approach. They allow only that information favorable to their opinion to flow to the decision makers. It is equally important to understand what influences these buyers. Number one, environmental factors like demand in the market and the technology which are used in the industries. Second one is organizational factors. centralized and decentralized purchasing methods, relationship purchasing, zero-based pricing, vendor performance evaluations, interpersonal factors like relationship between buyers and sellers, representatives of various competitors, individual factors like reactions of buyers. Let us understand two popular models of organizational buying behavior. The Webster and Wind model is developed by F. E. Webster and Y. Wind. They try to explain the multifaceted nature of organizational buying behavior. This model reflects the environmental, organizational, interpersonal, and individual buying determinants which influences the organization and group decision making, therefore reflects in buying process. These are environmental variables which includes physical, technological, economic, political, legal, labor unions, cultural, customer demands, competitions, supplier informations, etc. The environmental factors influences the buying decisions of individual organizations. Organizational variables includes objectives, goals, organization structure, purchasing policies and procedures, etc. Functioning of a buying center is influenced by organizational variables, environmental variables, and individual variables. He also emphasized on organizational buying decisions as a choice of suppliers, make or buy decision making, or organizations can even decide about search for other reliable information. Professor Jagdish N. Seth developed Seth model in 1973. This model emphasizes the joint decision making by two or more individuals and psychological aspects of decision making individuals in the industrial buying behavior. The model includes three components and situation factors which determine the choice a supplier or a brand in buying decision making process in the organization. He also emphasized and the model serves two purposes. It reflects how complex the whole question of consumer behavior really is, and it provides the framework for individual various concepts like learning, perception, and attitudes, which play a role in influencing consumer behavior. In this theory, the most significant stimulus affecting the buying behavior is the information cues about the characteristics of a product. Thank you.